Hulkster, what you doing? You're listening to Horror Movie Night. This week we're talking about Suburban Commando. Scott's over there because it's the 90s, and he's going to sue our ass. Adam was frozen today, and I've got 24-inch pythons just waiting to wrap around your necks, brothers. So let's talk about Suburban Commando.
We don't actually have to have a podcast. That was so good.
This is good. Yeah, we just released this. We get 1,400 listens on it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Then we can be like spaghetti, gotcha. And they come back in.
To be fair, that was definitely more Macho Man than Hulk Hogan, but whatever. So, you guys voted, and you picked Suburban Commando, and I'm happy about it, but I'm the only one who's happy about it as far as I can tell. So that's fine.
No, actually, I'm somewhat okay with it because I have a series of jokes to make throughout this show.
I have
make away with it.
I have 2.5 pages of notes on Suburban Commando.
Jesus.
So, all right. So the movie starts off, and we meet General Suter, and he's about to murder Mr. President. And there's a couple jokes in here. The one line that I have written down is, I'm not egotistical, proud, maybe, which I don't know. I like that line. But using some type of...
I wrote that one, too!
Using some type of envelope, the president manages to cut off Suter's hand, and a skeletal claw begins to emerge. This is when we meet Hulk Hogan's character, Shep Ramsey. And he's some type of space bounty hunter. And while he's unable to save the president, he blows up the ship, killing everybody, including the president. And then he okay, this is the first note of the insanity of this movie. He is like spinning through space, and he's going, come on, stabilize. But he is like so gingerly tapping this button on the control pad to slow himself down. I don't know.
Well, that's the stabilize button. I was wondering the same thing myself because he's just pushing the same button over and over and over again. I'm like, that's the definition of insanity there, Chef Ramsey.
Yeah,
Wait, Chef? Are you saying chef as in Gordon Ramsay?
I am, and I will continue to do that.
So he hates Earthlings. Are we going to talk about this?
Yeah, he hates Earthlings. He's told that he needs to take a break from bounty hunting because he's getting sloppy, and he angrily punches his control panel, and it busts up his ship, so he has to land at the next safest place, which is Earth. So yeah, he hates Earthlings.
Earthlings. Welcome to Earthlings.
And then
he knows what it is. He knows what Earth is. He knows what Earthlings are. Actually, I don't even know what Earthlings are, but whatever. And yet he seems to be like, it's supposed to be like a fish out of water thing, where he's like wearing the wrong clothes and acting very weird and awkward and doesn't understand anything. But he
doesn't understand cantaloupes.
Well, this is also a space film where literally everyone is human. Like all planets, all races, for the most part, are just humans.
No, because the bad guy.
I said most.
Yeah, but the bad guy chooses to look like he self-identifies as a human for the whole movie.
What is Tumblr like in space?
So there's a hip hop opening song, and the beat just.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I wrote a note, Matt. God damn you!
Bow 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 bow. It's like the background beat. It's like, it's a nice place to live, but I wouldn't want to visit. It's a nice place to live.
Is that the same as the outro song, the Almost Paradise song, or?
I feel like it's the same song. Yeah.
So I, while I was watching this with my brother, I was like, man, I wonder if they ever released a soundtrack for Suburban Commando. And they did. And it was only $1 on Amazon, so that's coming in the mail for me pretty soon.
You lucky bastard, you.
Yeah. So we meet Christopher Lloyd during this hip-hop song and his family, who all just doesn't give a shit about him, really. and he's a struggling architect, and that's when we meet the best character in the movie, which is Christopher Lloyd's boss, played by Larry Miller. And he has so many great subtle lines that I'm convinced that he was just going off script the whole movie. Because I don't believe the guy who wrote the rest of Suburban Commando wrote his lines.
Yeah, when he starts having the monologue about floors and ceilings and how in between those two you need to have a wall, like I thought that was actually pretty good.
Adam just became Adam 2016 just became Adam 2015. Just saying.
There's a line from Larry Miller early on when Christopher Lloyd gives him the blueprints, and he's like, "Oh God, yes, these are adequate." And I just think that's like, he's just such a dick. He's a fantastic dick, and every time I watch him, I think of 10 Things I Hate About You, which is always a good thing.
I just want him to put on the belly.
So now Hogan crash lands in some type of disco, a closed down disco.
It's a gay bar.
Yo, I want to take you to the gay bar, Hogan.
The gay ball, yeah.
Is that what he would sing it like? Okay.
Yeah. So
I want to take you to a gay bar.
That song's
That only
so
makes
good.
it gayer, though. Like that's fine.
A little bit, yeah.
So then we hear the song that Adam was referring to, Almost Like Paradise, a little reggae jam. Blue sky, plenty of sunshine. Take a walk down by the bay. I've watched this movie so
I
much.
think what you're looking for is over there under the tree, man.
And this is when Hulk Hogan saves a dog, making him the hero that we all deserve, by beating up its shitty owner and locking him in the car and letting the dog eat that guy's meal instead.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, whenever Hulk leaves the house, he'll go for a little jog and he'll do one or two nice things, but he'll also destroy a lot of property or kill a cat.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that cat. I'm totally on board with him, like straight up murdering that cat because cats are assholes. So I don't know. I'm oddly okay with that joke.
I spoke too soon. I was wrong. There is a character that's better than Larry Miller, and that is the drunken soldier that just sits in a car out on his front lawn, just yelling at Christopher Lloyd.
Did I miss something? Because I'm pretty sure that I watched the whole movie and it wasn't like a shortened version. But I'm pretty sure that I was watching the movie and I was expecting that character to show up more than 3 times, and then he just fucking ghosts in the second and third act.
Yeah, no, he shows up, he has a conversation with Hogan, and then you really never see him again.
Why?
Yeah, what was it in the 80s where every veteran was portrayed as a PTSD having alcoholic who just spouted crazy shit all the time?
Can we go down through like our previous episodes and how many times this trope has come through? I 2 come to mind, and I'm sure that I'm missing a shitload. But like we got obviously the grandpa in Terror Vision, and we have pretty much all of House.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know what else we're missing, but like it's a serious trope.
Yeah. Also, the sheriff from Dr. Giggles having PTSD.
You see this bottle?
I once saw a little boy burst out of a man's chest.
So the world is just shitting on Christopher Lloyd. He's got to get a whole bunch of new blueprints drawn up. He can't park in his driveway because his neighbors build racing cars, I guess. And there's some asshole who just speeds around the neighborhood, whipping around for no reason. And then he gets home, and in just one afternoon, Shelley Duvall watched Dr. Ruth, got a sexy wig, converted an entire work shed into a live-in apartment, and properly advertised it around town, which I think is impressive to do in 8 hours. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
well,
honestly,
you've never been a stay-at-home mom. You don't know what it's like during the day.
If they're having money problems, then Shelley Duvall could go to work because she could do the work of 10 men. She makes so much money.
Yeah, she converted that work shed into a pretty nice apartment. Really, she carried that bed out there by herself. She did some excellent work. And Hulk Hogan finding the advertisement, the the brilliant advertisement of just apartment for rent with an arrow pointing off to nowhere.
I love that because he grabbed the sign and then the camera panned up and it looked down the street and the street went on forever. And it was like, well, where's the apartment for rent?
You're missing the fact that he probably knocked on a shitload of people's houses like, where's your apartment?
Where's your apartment, brother? So he shows up at the house, and they immediately, within an hour, he is now renting the apartment in the back of their house. No questions asked. Now,
see, this was the point when he came to the door, and Christopher Lloyd answered, and he said, "I'm looking for the apartment." Christopher turns around and looks at Shelley Duvall and goes, "He's here for you." Me and Andy both looked at each other and went, "Oh my God, Hulk Hogan is going to cock his wife. He's going to cuckold Christopher Lloyd." And that never really left my mind for the rest of the movie. Like, constantly, I was just thinking about when Christopher Lloyd stole it and like used all his shit. I was like, oh man, is he ever going to fuck Shelley Duvall tonight? and then we got into a conversation about that Hulk Hogan sex tape. And we both realized that in that sex tape, Hulk Hogan was like cucking a dude's wife. And I was like, hey, Andy, you ever see that Hulk Hogan sex tape where he fucks Shelley Duvall and he makes Christopher Lloyd watch?
Shit. So you jumped ahead to exactly where I was about to go, where it says Christopher Lloyd's breaking into his room and he pulls out a laser gun, and I feel like that laser hole is going to be tough for him to cover up. But he shoots a laser straight through the lamp, through the wall, and blows up one of those cars across the street. There's really no ramifications.
No one ever mentions it until later when they're outside and Hulk Hogan touches one of their guys' cars and they lose their mind. And I'm like, didn't one of those just explode and get destroyed the other night?
The best line, one of the better delivered lines is Hulk Hogan picks up the car and moves it so Christopher Lloyd can get into his driveway. And, they're looking down Hogan, and he's like, "What are you going to do, brother? Kick my ass?" And he's like, "No, man, it's the 90s. I'm going to sue." And then the guy behind him just goes, "Yeah, that's telling." Like, I don't know. There's little subtle lines that I don't think are intentionally as funny as I find them, but whatever. We have a couple Hulk Hogan heroic jogs that happen throughout the movie.
Let's talk about the nighttime jog.
Yeah, where he stops a theft.
Lloyd follows. He stalks him around like a fucking weirdo. Like, if you saw a Christopher Lloyd hunched over looking like a little troll running around being a creepoid at nighttime with binoculars, wouldn't you call the cops? Because that's fucking weird to me.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, he stops some theft. He murders someone's car alarm. He just keeps roughhousing a mime. And then he beats a video game.
Oh my God, the fucking mime shit.
And I realize, like, for a movie that takes place in the suburbs, they have some awful crime in this town, as well as awful amount
rape.
A lot of mimes. There's a lot of mimes in this suburban town as well, and lots of rape and theft.
Okay, so Christopher Lloyd tracks him to his ship, and then he gets into the ship, and he's using Hulk Hogan's armor or whatever, and he crushes the end of his camera. And he goes, advanced muscular or whatever, right? So when you're in the armor, you're super strong. Then he goes out and he gets into the fight with the rapists, right? And he's very clumsily like bumbling his way through it. He doesn't understand how to use the machine, but he does eventually dispatch the two rapists, right? Yeah. Now, when the woman comes up to him and is like, "Oh my God, thank you so much," I wanted to be like, "Wait, I don't really know how to use it," and just crush her bones. Or like tear her in half by accident.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Well, so there's something I had to say about that section right there. So, Chris Lloyd, first of all, is slumming it in this movie. Then where is it? It's like the woman just faced the possibility of being raped, and then she's saved by someone. What does she do but offer herself anything you want? Like that. that was actually kind of offensive to me. I was like, I understand it's like 1993 when this movie was made, but that is just not right.
There's also, this movie has a receptionist character who is both ugly and thirsty as all fuck in this movie.
True, she is.
There is that scene where her and Hulk are in the office together, and they're both just very close to each other, just like they're about to come on each other or something. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, this movie was a little bit more adult than I remembered my childhood viewings of it being. I was more focused on like, oh, the Undertaker has a baby voice. Like that was the stuff that I remember from this movie. So Hogan realizes that Christopher Lloyd has been wearing the suit and has, because of his negligence, allowed for a bunch of bounty hunters who are searching for Chef Ramsay to come down and try to defeat him. Also, the rapists have walked off with one of his many, many weapons.
Now at this point in the movie, you guys are going to have to tell me what happened, because I went to take a shit and I didn't pause it because there was still 50 minutes left, and I was like, well, this will kill some time.
So for starters, they pull out what is 110% the PK meter from Ghostbusters and use it to try to find.
Yes. Okay. I'm so glad that wasn't just me.
Yeah. No, that's 100% what it is. And they use that to find the thieves who are using this gun which freezes people to rob a bank. And they use the gun on Hulk Hogan, but it doesn't work because he's drinking antifreeze in order to avoid
Jesus
being
Christ.
frozen. And that is fantastic. So they get the gun back, but Christopher Lloyd is hit by some residue freeze spray and is frozen, leading to probably the best line in the movie, "I was frozen today," which is my best Christopher Lloyd right there.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
It's better than my Hogan.
Don't get ahead of yourself there, man. Your Hogan was great.
So
These piranhas have been trapped in this underwater cave for centuries.
So did you
Does that make you feel better? Your Christopher Lloyd was better than mine.
When you were done shitting, did you get to see the surfing burger scene? Because
Jesus Christ.
the two bounty hunters, one who's just like a random bit player who's been around for years playing like big tough guys in mob movies, and the other one being The Undertaker from WWE in his only acting role, and there is no questioning why he never acted again. But they are in a car that they've stolen that says "Just Married" on the back, and they pull up to a burger joint called Surfin' Burger, where it sounds like Bill and Ted are both working the drive-thru.
Yep.
It's just like,
I had nightmare flashbacks to the drive-thru episode.
oh my god! And the list of specialty burgers, they're just like, hey bro, welcome to Surfing Burger. Can I get you interested in the Tornado Burger or maybe the Hurricane Burger? How do you feel about having a Typhoon Burger? Oh, whoa, you guys just get married. You look so cute. Can we interest you in the Honeymoon Burger? It's like, who the fuck is ordering the Honeymoon Burger? Like, I want to know more about it, but they blow up.
It's a good burger. I mean, I'll order it. I don't give a fuck what it's called.
They blow up the Surfing Burger mascot's head, which causes the speaker to stop working and everything, and they just drive off. They didn't even order food. They got nothing. It was weird.
I hope they weren't hungry.
So there's a big gap where I just stopped writing notes. Because it's like they realize that they have to go get some crystals from inside Christopher Lloyd's office, and there's a big party going on there, and they get the crystals, and the bounty hunters show up, and there's a bunch of bounty hunter fighting hijinks that's basically like a live-action Looney Tunes cartoon where, well, one of them is. The one guy goes through the wall and leaves like an imprint of him. The other guy just gets crushed by an elevator. The ending that we wanted to see last week in New Year's Evil, we got in Suburban Commando instead of someone just getting crushed by an elevator. And these guys are just punching through fucking ceilings and walls like it's nobody's business. To the point that I think even Hogan has a line where he's like, "Man, shoddy repairmanship or shoddy construction."
Yeah. Oh shit. What is it? It's like something. Talk about poor construction or something like that. Man, his lines are awful.
Oh yeah. So
Well, and then he puts the guy through the wall and he goes, "Game over. You lost." And I was like, "Really? That's what you're going with? The callback to the shitty arcade scene that you were fucking whatever."
So do you know did either one of you take the time to hit up the IMDb and read some trivia on this?
Nope.
Okay. So this movie was originally written to be a Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito movie, but they chose to do twins instead, and then New Line picked up the screenplay instead to have a follow up to the Hulk Hogan film No Holds Barred. Yeah, so you have to imagine that all of these lines that Hogan's delivering would have been delivered by Arnold. They still would have been awful, but Arnold would have been like antifreeze or game over, you lose.
To be fair, we did get to see most of that in Batman Forever.
All of the
Oh, wait, is that Batman and Robin?
That's Batman and Robin.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, Scott.
The movie with 25 villains.
All of the gun props in this movie were reused from Masters of the Universe. Just a fun little fact.
It doesn't make up for the fact that I would have much preferred to watch Masters of the Universe.
Actually, I think I may have found an answer. Oh, no, never mind. This is the director's last movie. He died after this.
Man, what a way to go. That's sad.
He went out on Suburban Commando, but I'm looking to see if anything that he made was anything noteworthy, and it looks just like a lot of shitty TV shows. So, he didn't... It wasn't like it was a brilliant career that ended on a sour note. It looks like it was pretty weak across the board.
Shit. Oh, yeah.
So, Jesus Christ. When I saw that it was someone's final movie, I'm like, maybe it was the Sergeant, and that's why he just kind of disappeared midway through the movie. But that seems to not be the case. He lived another 10 years. So they think that they've got everything they need so that Hogan can fly back up into space and save everybody, but he won't say goodbye because he doesn't believe in goodbyes or whatever. And that's when you find out that General Suter is still alive. This is the first mention of him since the beginning of the movie. He's back. He's like, there was more than just one escape pod on that ship. I always have a backup plan. And
I think they called them something like bullety pods or bubbery pods or something like that.
Yeah, something stupid. And he turns into like a weird blend of like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Predator, and like the final creature from Krull. It's like, what?
Yes! Oh my god! Okay, now I'm excited about this movie because you reminded me about Krull.
He had a little bit of swamp thing in there too.
Yeah.
No. You can't get me on board with it by talking about my favorite comic book character of all time. That's just disrespectful right there.
So they fight this monster.
If I remember correctly, he was able to tap into the Speed Force as well.
Oh, I think I actually just came.
I like this creature. I'm going to throw it out there. I think it deserves a better movie than Suburban Commando, but whatever. He's in there.
The thing I don't like about this monster is that all it does is like kind of throw its arms up in the power stance and go, ah, and then it gets electrocuted. It's worthless.
He gets murdered by disco, and then the disco explodes, and I wrote, oh no, not the disco. But the world's safe. Ramsey decides he's going to fly back off into outer space, but he says goodbye to the family. There's a scene where he's dressed in a long-sleeve blue shirt and some rainbow pants, which is just the most 80s look in this movie.
Those are Zubas, man, right?
You're a little bit older than me. You might remember I was 4 when this movie came out, I think.
All right, I need to go down memory lane for just a second for you guys so that you understand. I know Matt knows Brandon. Brandon played drums in Survivor Girl and the metal band before that. Ichabod Crane, and he's my buddy and loves wrestling. So obviously, Matt and he have probably talked about wrestling on Facebook more than Brandon and I have ever talked about wrestling because I do not like wrestling. So Brandon and one of his other buddies found pairs of Zubaz, which were, they're those pants that are like kind of baggy at the thigh and real tight at the ankle and crazy colors and etc. They wore them to my 30th birthday party, which was a 90s themed dance party at a local bar that Megan put together for me. That's how I know that they're called Zubaz. Not because I have actually done research, but rather because I've been around people enough that actually wear them. Apparently, they're super comfortable.
You go ahead and you post those pictures on Facebook whenever you're ready.
Dude, how many years have we been friends, and you've probably already seen them?
Yeah, but everybody needs to see them. They're all your friends, Scott.
Okay, that's just a lie.
So that's the ending of Suburban Commando. They
we get one last scene where Hulk's wearing the power armor, and then he shakes Christopher Lloyd's hand, and I was like, I made a joke that was like, what if he just crushed all his bones to dust straight out?
So there's also this one really weird thing at the end where there's this ongoing plot that Christopher Lloyd keeps hitting this one red light on his way home from work.
So dumb.
So at the
I
end
didn't ever understand it. It never made any sense to me.
Yeah, and the end of the movie, he blows up the stoplight, but like that road looks like a road that super needs that stoplight. Like that's not like it's not like
and everybody's like cheering in their cars.
Yeah. So there's a video game of this movie, but it came out 2 years after the film was released. So
was it NES?
I don't know. I'm just going through the IMDb updates here.
Tell me what it is so I can get an emulator and I can tell you how the game is.
Adam, I don't even need to play it to say how shit it's going to be.
It might be a hidden classic. It might be a little hidden gem.
No, if Matt Kelly doesn't even know about it, Hulk Hogan's super fan over here, it's not good.
See, if Suburban Commando hadn't been a sci-fi film, Shep Ramsey would have been a black ops commando who's ordered to take a vacation by a superior officer after a failed mission to eliminate a terrorist fanatic and becomes a lodger at Charlie Wilcox and his family and struggles to adjust to normal life due to his discipline and training and is soon tracked down by the terrorist fanatic and his men out to settle the score.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this sounds more endearing than that.
It sounds like somebody took that script and reworked it and made it into that movie Hannah that we got a couple of years ago.
Hannah?
Yeah, you don't remember where the little girl is trained by her dad in the woods to be like a super terrorist, like crazy spy girl, and then her dad, and she has to like go out into normal society?
Wait, are you talking about Kick-Ass?
No, but we now know that the guy that wrote that's a fucking hack too.
I think that's all we need to say about this one. Thank you guys for making my dreams come true and voting for a real gem of a movie, Suburban Commando. I'm very happy that I got to expose Scotty and Adam to its brilliance. I'm sure that they will speak of it positively to their friends for years to come.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Matt, I'm being really, really generous with how much I fucking hated watching this movie. I had no fun watching this garbage, but I'm in a good mood today. It's 2017 by the time this comes out. I have high hopes for it not being a shit year like last year.
So, what did you watch this week?
Well, this is a little late, but we haven't really had what did we watch for a couple weeks? So, like a one worth mentioning. But Megan and I went and saw Rogue One.
How was it?
Oh yeah.
Have you guys seen it yet?
I have not.
No.
Man, it's great. I'm going to do a spoiler-free little comment here, but I think it's the prettiest of the Star Wars films, of all of them. And it's very much like, so Return of the Jedi is my favorite of the series, of any of the series, of the franchise, and followed closely by Force Awakens, but that's probably because it's just a better telling of A New Hope. But I feel that there's a very similar like cinematography angle that they have going on in the third act of of Rogue One as they had in Endor, basically, when they're on the forest planet with the Ewoks. It's a very similar kind of feel for me, and I liked it a lot. I talked to a lot of people, like friends that have seen it, have some serious issues with it, but I have this sneaking suspicion that no matter how good a new Star Wars film is, people are going to shit on it. Like, nobody's going to be happy because the original trilogy just can't be touched in most people's minds because of nostalgia. Like, I've heard people say that they can't empathize with anybody in Rogue One. I've heard people say that it's too much like a Vietnam movie. I've heard people say that it has too many like plot holes and doesn't follow the narrative correctly. Some people don't like that there's no intro scroll. Some people don't like the music. Like, if we're talking about Force Awakens, everybody was bitching and moaning about how it was just A New Hope, but with a female lead. Other people were upset about the way the characters were taken care of in the movie. And I just feel like people complain. They just want to complain. People just want to complain. Like, are you not excited by the fact that 25, 30 years later, we're getting more movies from our favorite cinematic universe? Like, shut the fuck up and enjoy it. It's entertainment. It's not, I don't know. It's just like people get so bound up in franchises.
What if we did like 2 movies just set around Ewoks?
Don't play with my emotions. Oh my fucking God.
Well, Scott, if that's what you're looking for, I've got good news. What if we did? What if we met like Chewbacca's family and we saw how they spend the holidays?
Listen, the Christmas special. I don't know what you're talking about. That was just something that they pitched that never happened. And then I know that you've heard stories about there being the Ewok movies, but those are from that Berenstein Bear universe that doesn't exist, where Nelson Mandela died.
I thought that I had seen the Christmas special. I was watching it on my laptop, and then a heftier, older gentleman came in and smashed it with a hammer and told me that I'd never seen it. So I guess I just imagined that.
Did he actually have no chin, but a beard that made it look like he had a chin?
It was very carefully lined up. Yes, he goes to a black barber because he's got to get that line and that fade to make it look like he's got a chin down there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's come to my house at least one time or another too, whispered in my ears about the how good episodes 1 through 3 are, but I still have I think that those are just myths.
All right, so I watched I watched a movie called Psycho 4: The Beginning, which is a weird, like it's a prequel, but it's a sequel at the same time, where it's Norman Bates calling into a call-in radio show that's
yeah. Oh, God damn it, don't talk about it. I was going to pick that.
All right, well, then I won't say anything other than it's a weird fucking movie.
No, talk about it now so that you can save me from myself, so I don't pick it.
Yeah, don't pick it. So it's Norman Bates calling into a call-in radio show that happens to be doing a discussion on men who've murdered their parents, and he calls in and just
very broad topic. You're sure to get lots of call-ins on that one.
And he calls in and just tells the entire origin story of him growing up with his mother. So it answers all the questions that you've ever wanted to know about Psycho. It's bad. I also watched, not horror related, but I did watch Zootopia, and that movie is a delight.
Yep.
So highly recommend Zootopia to really anybody. And I watched a Charles Band film called Skullheads, which is not going to be a future pick in my life. That thing is like barely an hour long, so typical Charles Band. but it's like about this weird incestual family, and some big shots from Hollywood show up at their castle to tape a movie, but they turn out to just be regular-ass art thieves there to raid the place, and then the Skullheads come and protect them. The Skullheads show up for literally the last 3 minutes of the movie, and before that, it's just a weird family drama about this incestual family that lives alone in a castle. So
you're saying that I should watch the last 3 minutes?
Yeah, maybe.
So, because I'm looking at, I actually quickly, I was like, fucking went right to
Charles Band Skullheads got it.
The cover art looks abysmal.
Oh yeah,
why would you subject yourself to even an hour of this garbage?
So this was what my mom got me for my birthday. This alone.
How bad did your mom hate you?
It was in a dollar bin at Big Lots. As far as I know, she forgot my birthday was that day and was like, "Oh no!"
Oh my god!
Yeah, right. Your mom just knows you that well that you fucking would love whatever piece of shit came out of the dollar bin.
Fair. In 3 months, somebody's gonna get that in the mail.
You lucky dog, you.
But that's all I got. How about you, Adam? Wrap it up.
I don't know. I didn't really watch a whole lot, other than some TV. Now, have you guys ever watched?
Wait, did you watch the next episode of Flavor of Love, bro?
Oh shit! All right, New Year's resolution right here, right now. Let's put it on the air. I will start continuing the Flavor of Love series as of our next record, whenever that will be.
Right.
So I will have that for you then. You got to remind me because I'm retarded. But no, I didn't watch that. Have you guys ever watched any Kenny versus Spenny?
Yes.
Yeah, Scott. What about you? You ever see anything like that?
Do you think I would lower myself to something that rhymes?
Oh, Kenny versus Spenny is ridiculous.
Yeah, man, it's something that's
Canadian.
genuinely worthwhile finding and watching. Yeah. I know it didn't get as much traction down in the States as it certainly did up here because those guys are hyper famous in Canada. But it's essentially a show where two guys, one a neurotic fucking psychopath with terrible self-esteem, and the other one a sociopath who loves to torture the other guy, compete in series of challenges each week. Stuff like who can produce more sperm. Or who do black guys like the most? Or who can stay tied to a goat the longest?
This is exactly something that you would like. This is not shocking me.
This is like Canadian Jackass, but with a plot line is the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah, and there's an episode, Scott, and this is the one that I always suggest to people. The episode is who can keep an octopus on their head the longest.
Why are you even offering this information for me? Because I'm not going to watch any of this at all.
Because when this goes out and it goes to the group, they're all going to be talking fervently about this octopus goes on the head episode. Because there's what happens at the end of this episode is it's shocking to me that there weren't serious legal ramifications from it. And that they ever let it air on television anywhere because it's really fucked up what happens. It's hilarious.
Can you tell me off the air so I don't have to watch or what?
It's been forever since I've watched this show, but I remember one winter break, me and my roommates just binged a bunch of it. And wasn't there an episode? All I remember is one of them always tries to find a way to cheat the system to win the contest.
Yes.
And I think the one was who could go the longest without using their hands for a day or something along those lines. And he was just finding all these weird ways to get shit done by just asking other people to do things for him. Whereas the other guy was being very honest about trying to just go through the day without ever having to rely on his hands. And it was just, it's so insane. It is probably one of the most insane things I've seen in a long time. I would revisit Kenny versus Spenny.
Scott, just because you're not ever going to watch it, and I'm sure most of the audience has seen it, and it's not that big of a spoiler. But if you don't want to hear it, then maybe skip ahead about a minute. They get the octopuses from a butcher and they put it on their heads. Now the one guy puts on a giant Rastafarian beanie over top of the octopus so that it just appears to be a beanie with some tentacles trailing down as if they're dreadlocks. But what he's actually done is cut the tentacles off of the octopus and just stringed them along the inside of the beanie. So from minute one, he's actually not wearing the octopus on his head anymore. The other guy is, though, and it just becomes this war of attrition where it's like, it's not bad enough that he's ever going to take it off. So I have to figure out a way to make him take it off. And he ends up dosing Spenny with a huge amount of LSD, like a ridiculous amount of LSD, and you watch some episodes of this show and you kind of know that they're staging things. This is fucking terrifying. Like, he is outside dancing in the rain in his underwear, and he turns around and you can see that he's shit himself a little bit back there, and like he's just still got this octopus on his head, and they lose track of him while he's still high on LSD, and he wanders out of the house and he goes down to the shore of the river in Toronto and just plops the dead octopus into the river because he wanted to set it free into the water.
Adam, your idea of fun is really fucked up.
I wouldn't want to do it, but it's pretty funny to watch.
No, but that's what I'm saying, is that you're like, yeah, I'm going to spend time watching this.
I've seen every episode, baby. More than once.
Well, that was Suburban Commando from 1991. Thank you for listening. As always, we will be back to discussing actual horror movies next week instead of just horrible movies. We've got plenty of good things around the corner. You can check us out on the Patreon. We got a Patreon account as always, and that one, we're only like $18 away from our goal of $200 a month. Once we hit that goal, you are going to get not one but 2 bonus episodes every single month from us. We will be putting in the extra work to give you extra fun. We've got a bunch of conventions and other cool stuff coming up in the near future, so you can look forward to that. And there's a bunch of other cool places where you can check us out, interact, and listen.
You can always find us on Twitter at HMN Podcast, where we mention, we do retweets, we talk to the fans. If you would like to suggest a movie to us, just make sure that you send it in an email with an explanation to hmnpodcast@gmail.com. Scott, you got anything over there?
Oh, yeah. Go to our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/horror movie night. You can listen to pretty much everything we've done as Horror Movie Night, for better or for worse. My best friend since probably about elementary school had the past week off, and I think he's listened to every episode.
That's
like
awesome.
Consecutively. And he decided that, and he'll be listening to this too, so I want to give him a shout out. Mar, I'm going to tell everybody about your bad decision here. Bad decision number 1 was listening to us, like binging us for a week. Second bad decision was he decided that he is going to watch all of the bad movies that he can get a hold of that we have talked about. So as of this recording, he is on Puppet Master 4 of the entire Puppet Master series. I told him to stop. I told him for his sanity, don't do it. And you can't stop someone when they have decided to
watch the Puppet Masters franchise.
Yeah, we fucking told you not to either. You
Listen, that was because exactly you told me not to, and I'm a petulant little teenage girl, and I was like, I'm gonna do what you say not to. So I told him about the Nazi titties. He appreciated it. I told him that it's all downhill from there, and he's in for a real bumpy ride as of last night, pretty much. As of tonight, actually, because he's back at it, and he's just going to be one sad bastard in about another 4 hours.
And I just want to throw this out there to the people who write in with the suggestions. We are like literally booked until April or May with these suggestions right now. So keep them coming, but be prepared to have to wait a few months for us to actually get to your suggestion. But we do read every email.
Yeah. And if you can make us a good argument, we'll swap out Adam's pick for yours. Because Adam's pick, he's run out of ideas.
If their argument is they'll spend the next 3 years sucking your dick once a week, then yeah, I guess that's fine. They've earned it too.
Those dicks have been sucked, Adam. I need new blood here, man.
The job of sucking a dick is never truly done, Scott.
Spoken like a true professional.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.